The Green Mist of Willow Lane. In the heart of Willow Lane, two houses stood side by side, as close as two thumbs on a pair of clay hands. Omar lived in the blue house with the modest garden, and Zaid lived in the yellow house with the tall sunflowers. They were best friends, sharing dates after school and racing their wooden scooters until the sun dipped below the horizon. One Tuesday, a large, shiny truck pulled up to the yellow house. Zaid's father rolled out a brand-new bicycle. It was a masterpiece of molded clay, painted a shimmering metallic silver with neon green tires. Omar watched from his porch, his old, chipped red scooter suddenly feeling very small and very dull. That night, a strange green light seemed to fill Omar's room. It wasn't a real light, but a heavy feeling in his chest. He looked at his shelf of toys and felt a prickle of heat. "Why does Zaid get the silver bike?" he whispered to his pillow. "It's not fair. I want it to be mine, and I want his to be broken." The next day, Zaid rode his bike in circles on the sidewalk, the wheels whirring like a happy bee. He wore a matching silver helmet and sped past Omar's gate. Zaid wasn't trying to be mean, but to Omar, every zoom felt like a poke in the ribs. The green mist of envy followed Omar everywhere he went. Omar's mother, Amina, found him moping in the kitchen. She knelt down, her clay hands warm on his shoulders. "Omar," she said softly, "envy is like a fire that eats up good deeds. If you keep looking at what Zaid has, you'll forget to see all the wonderful things you have right here. Ask for Zaid to have a blessing, and your heart will feel light again." Outside, the zoom suddenly turned into a clack-crunch. Omar looked out the window. Zaid was standing over his silver bike. The chain had snapped and tangled into a messy metal knot. Zaid's face was crumpled, and he looked like he was about to cry. For a second, Omar felt a tiny spark of, "I told you so," but then he remembered his mother's words. Omar stepped out of his house. The green mist tried to pull him back, but he pushed through it. He walked toward the yellow house, carrying a small metal toolbox he had borrowed from his father. Zaid looked up, his eyes glassy. "It's ruined," Zaid whispered. "I was being too fast." "It's not ruined, Zaid," Omar said, kneeling beside the silver bike. "We can fix it. My dad showed me how to use the pliers." Omar handed Zaid a small rag. "Hold this part steady while I pull the chain." Zaid wiped his nose and gripped the frame, his hands shaking slightly. They worked together as the sun began to set, turning the clay world into shades of orange and gold. The grease from the chain got on their noses and their shirts, but they didn't care. With a final click, the chain snapped back into place. Omar spun the pedal, and it moved smoothly. "Try it now." Omar cheered. That evening, both families gathered for dinner on a long table spread between the two houses. Amina and Zaid's mother, Lila, brought out platters of steaming rice and lamb. Omar realized that the silver bike was just a bike, but his friendship with Zaid was a treasure that couldn't be bought. The green mist was gone, replaced by the warm glow of a full heart